Crowds were watching in horror Saturday night. Dramatic video showing the moment of impact when a Mexican Navy ship heading the wrong way on the East River crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge.
This left 2 people dead and injured several others on the ship. No one on the bridge was injured. And this morning, the NTSB is on the scene. The agency planning to hold a press conference with an update this afternoon.
Yeah, Eyewitness News reporter Phil Taitt joins us near the site of the crash on Manhattan's Lower East Side. Phil?
Yeah, and right now we're learning that 172 cadets along with 2 officers returned home this morning. Meantime, 2 other cadets are receiving specialized treatment here in the city. Now, as for the NTSB, they arrived here yesterday and they are now beginning their investigation, taking a good look into what exactly went wrong after a Mexican Navy ship crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge Saturday night, claiming the lives of 2 people and injuring 22 others. That ship you're taking a look at now diminished here at Pier 36, and it's brought out quite the crowd over the weekend, even this morning, for some just to lay their eyes on it, for others to pay tribute to those who perished. Now, it was a calm Saturday night until the ship that was going south to the Brooklyn waterfront to fuel up before heading to Iceland on a goodwill tour reported a mechanical failure. Now, the vessel appeared to lose power that left the ship drifting north, going out of control. The current pushed the ship backwards into the Brooklyn Bridge, snapping its 3 masts. Now, this morning, we're learning about the victims, as Mexican authorities have now said the 2 victims were young naval cadets training on the ship. They've been identified. Now, one of the people they say who's pictured on your screen is America Yamale Sanchez, along with Adele Marcos. Now, last night, many even paid tribute to the lives lost as this painful tragedy sinks in. Right now, you're getting a live look at that mast that is now tilted here. Officers do remain here on the scene, and there are also NYPD boats that are safeguarding the ship on the waters. Now, the NTSB will be having a press conference at 3 today. We'll be standing by for that to hear what updates they might have as to where they are in that investigation. But again, still hearts are very heavy, as there is just a growing memorial that's just at the foot of this ship, as many are paying tribute to those who unfortunately perished in Saturday night's crash. We are live from Pier 36 this morning. I'm Phil Taitt, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Phil, thank you very much for the update. Joining us now with more, FDNY Chief of Training Michael Myers, who was the incident commander on Saturday night, and Kaz Daughtry, the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety. Gentlemen, thank you both for being with us. So I'm going to start with you, Chief. Why don't you walk us through exactly what happened there?
Yes, we were notified by our operations center that we had a boat in distress and some possible people in the water. As the calls continued to come in, we had a regular response go out to take a look at that. We had a marine response as well as a rescue response in case we had to get people out of the water, which is something that's usual on a warm, sunny day in the spring in New York City. And then next thing we know, we had to talk about the boat struck the bridge. So at that point, we go into more of an emergency mode from what happened in Maryland, where the boat hit the bridge. Again, now we're trying to get intel on the size, shape, what was going on with the boat. And then more calls came in. So at that point, I was leaving the fire academy. It was coming down the FDR. We put out a call for an all hands on the Brooklyn side of the bridge. And also we had to start to do that on the Manhattan side of the bridge. Looking quickly at the maps, we determined that we had to set up a casualty collection point because the reports were that there was numerous people injured on the ship. We did that on the Manhattan side because under the Brooklyn Bridge, the traffic flow isn't that great over there on Bridge Street. So we set that up on Pier 16, working with our partners on the NYPD and OEM, securing that pier, securing South Street, shutting that down. We had to get a whole bunch of ambulances in there, as well as transport the folks, get rescue personnel onto the ship, and then get folks transported by boat, both fire and police boat, to Pier 16 in order to start to really treat the victims. We initially got rescue medics and our rescue personnel onto the boat to help and package and get everybody all shipped as you're traveling across water with serious injuries.
Well, remarkable incident response. And we just got pictures of the bridge itself, the undercarriage of the bridge. And Kaz, talk to me a little bit about the big concern for the city, on top of helping to save lives, was what happened to the bridge. You know, what was the damage to the bridge? When the mast hit that bridge. It's a steel mast, if I'm not mistaken. It hit it with some force, and you could see cars were just dodging what was happening as the mast was starting to come into that area. What do you know about the bridge and its safety there?
Yep. So as you can see from the photos on the screen, that's the travelers part of the Brooklyn Bridge. Basically, picture how the window washers are inside of the buildings, where they stand on almost like a scaffolding. They go up and down. That's what it is, where they store construction equipment under the bridge for as they were doing repairs. There's no structural damage to the actual bridge as now. There's another inspection happening at 10:30, which myself and the chief are going to meet the NTSB on the Brooklyn Bridge. But let's talk about this incident, because I just want to bring up something. I was with the mayor on that night, where we were out with some elected officials. They were observing the police department and the mental health agencies dealing with the homeless. And when I got that phone call that the Navy training vessel struck the Brooklyn Bridge, I whispered into the mayor's ear as he was talking to one of the elected officials, and I said, we have to go now. There's a lot of people that need our help. Immediately he raced down to the scene when we met the incident commander here, and just basically took charge of the whole situation.
I'm curious if you can kind of walk us through. The big question here is, how did this happen? We saw that tugboat. I would assume that a ship like this would need to be escorted. Did that tugboat leave too soon? We've also heard that it started drifting backwards after it lost power. How does that happen when the current of a river is going one direction? Can you kind of give us the pieces to how something like this could actually happen?
Good question. And the tugboat was actually trying to help the vessel. So the vessel lost propulsion. It lost power. And it was, people think that the vessel was heading towards the Brooklyn Bridge. It was actually going the opposite way when it lost power.
Okay.
The current took it down, and then that's when the tugboat was trying to get there to maneuver the tugboat to stop the vessel from running into the actual Brooklyn Bridge. And Chief, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, at that point, again, as it starts to go towards that bridge, like the deputy mayor said, it's not intending to go in that direction or sail underneath it.
But isn't the tugboat supposed to lead it right out into New York Harbor?
Well, what you're looking at you're not seeing the video prior to that. The tugboat, the vessel was on its way out to the harbor, and then the current was moving extremely fast, and literally took that vessel, right down.
Well,
towards
if
the
that
under
can
the
happen
Brooklyn
this one time, the big question is, can that happen again?
Yeah.
Well, that's something that we're going to be looking at, and we're not going to rush the judgment. We're concerned about the sailors. We're concerned. Our hearts and prayers go out to the families of the lost ones, and the NTSB and the Coast Guard and the Mexican Navy is going to do an investigation, and we're going to wait for that investigation to come out.
And in fact, the NTSB has a news conference scheduled for later today, 3 p.m. this afternoon, and we'll get a little bit more about what they know now, what may have been going on aboard the ship, and what they're going to try to piece together, how to keep this from happening.
And this administration may have made it very clear. Whatever the ship needs, whatever the Mexican Navy needs, this administration is going to assist them.
All right.
Yeah.
FDNY Chief of Training, Michael Myers, Deputy Mayor Kaz Daughtry, thank you both for sitting down with us this morning. You're right. Big things happen in New York, and folks are watching.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.